High grade Age-2 Dark Hound. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, GundamReviews.net, and all the way back when Gundam Age-2, the second generation, kicked things off, at the very beginning they said there was going to be 3 wares for all of the lead Gundams, Age-1, 2, and 3. However, they only revealed 2 of them. It's been quite a wait for the Age-2 to make its debut in the anime and in plastic model form, and on this site. However, just like Kyo can forgive Asemu, I suppose we can too when you've got a mobile suit design that's this cool. 2012 release, and crumpled or not, it's 1500 yen. This is from Bandai with some very cool looking cover art, and there's the name bar. It's number 24 in the 1144th high grade age line. For the whole pirate theme, we've already got the advanced grade and high grade of the Jack Edge, and you can check out those reviews, and the advanced grade of the Dark Hound is just an absolute wonder despite its very low price. Can't wait to see what it can actually do with some articulation here. For the box tour, love to see that they're going to show you the plates there, and you can see that there's some white, some pink, some black, some gray, some red, and it looks like a little bit of silver there. Remains to be seen just how different these plates are actually going to be once it's out of the box. But basically what they did with the Dark Hound was take the old Age-2 normal, which was looking pretty cool as it was, and replace its side binders with some cool looking things here that have the pirate grappling hooks, and if you've seen the X2, well, who doesn't love a weapon like that? From the back you can see that black motif there, and it's still going to keep its strider form there for the transformation, as well as the custom base that it came with for the normal anyway. And you can see here that it's going to have the skull mark on the V-fin, which is hopefully going to be recreated out of plastic and not seals. There is a green eye there though, but remember this is painted by a pro, hopefully it's going to be okay. And where you'd plug in the actual Dod's rifle there into the chest, here it's actually got another skull mark there that doesn't look too much like a skull that you can plug in. But they are going to be giving you these for the anchor shots. You get a wire so you can shoot them out from either side while they're on, or I'd imagine while they're in hand, as you can see right here. So you could have them in hand, have the lead shooting out, and have them grasp over there. 2 regular beam sabers, you can also take that and take the Dod's Lancer and put it on the back. And as always with these high-grade kits, some great articulation. But then again, when you've got something this cool in colors and style, I think anything that you pose it is going to look good. This write-up over here reads like a court document looking for past child support, but you can see it in both of its forms here. And over here you're going to see, what's he doing? He's testing his son to see if he's worthy of playing Gundam vs. Gundam in the Age-3, as Flit seemed to have done from a very young age, inflicted upon him / allowed him to do. And over here you can see that it's not painted up by a pro, but you can see tons of different colors in there. You've got the light gray, the darker gray, and the black, which is going to go really well with that strong red. It looks like it's got the skull here with some black marks on it there, so I think that this should be not touched up with lining markers. So it should look pretty good, and it appears to have a very small green eye. So let's check it out inside instead of just speculating. So you're going to have an A-plate there, some pink beam sabers, lots of colors on the A-plate. You're going to have some black, and sure enough, it is silver there to go along with the lead. You're going to have some light gray, some darker gray, some polycaps there, and that's going to make up the action base to go along with the manual. The A-plate is only going to have 3 colors on there, but 3 good colors at that, as it's got black and black there to go along with the darker gray there, and a very rich red. It's different from the regular Gundam red, but certainly going to look good, I think, with these 2 dark colors there. You can see that you're going to have most of the parts there for the chest. You can see some cool parts there for the limbs. What you're going to see here molded in black is face parts, the chest, and the actual feet. And it's worth noting that when you compare it to, this is the Age-2 normals up there. So basically the feet up here that would have been red are now done in black. These yellow parts down here are now done in red. And you're going to have that V-fin there, which is added on and sort of at a jaunty little angle there. The B-plate from the normal is skipped over entirely, as all of that blue has been omitted, as you can guess. And taking a look at the C-plate, you're going to have that very nice gray, which is similar to what we saw in the A-plate already. Some parts there to make up the shoulders and the rest of the feet to go along with that action base, which helps to get it up in the air, both when it's in MS mode and in the Strider mode. And if you compare this C-plate to the Age-2 normal, you can see that this whole section has now been omitted or color changed. The D-plate introduces a lighter gray here, which is going to provide the majority of the inner frame there. You can see that you're going to be getting 4 sets of hands there. You can see the gray part there for the top of the head and for the inside of the chest. Otherwise, you've got all the gears. Still incredible that they're including that. That's the kind of thing that I wish 1/60th Exia had back in the day. Some of these parts that are exclusively for the normal are probably going to be X'd out in the manual, but to compare it back to the normal, you can see that all they did there is where you had the extra weapon parts for it, they are now going to be replaced with something much more fitting for the X2 in the form of the Dod's Lancer plus those grappling hooks. But black is definitely the new black here for the Dark Hound, as you can see that this is going to be the first unique plate here on the H that actually is listed as being Dark Hound. You've got the new side binders, very different from the normal, but still keep enough similarities that you can explain it, or sort of keep the connection there in your head anyway. And you're going to have the very cool sleeves-like epaulets down there at the bottom of the wrists, which are going to look pretty good there in black instead of the old school red or blue. And you've also got the very important unique head sculpts there, which are just fantastic and quite a nod, I'd say, to quite a few other things that we've seen in Japanese anime over the years. But the biggest surprise for me has to go to this I-1 plate down here, which is actually going to be in silver and not in white. So when I was taking a look at the side of the box and it seemed to have some white parts on there, I guess they don't seem to exist. Anyway, you can see that you're going to be getting some cool parts here for the Lancer itself. That's the kind of thing that I remember I had to actually go and paint up when I did my X2 there. But it's nice that they provided in the silver already. And you're going to have the skull for the V-fin there and the skull for the chest. However, it looks like they're not going to have any color to them unless you want to go ahead and use the seals. And I wonder if they might not be better off painted in white instead of this silver here, which has just got that little bit of gloss, but certainly not as glossy as anything mechy would be. Wrapping up the plastic parts, you've got PC001 for the polycaps with the extended part up there, SB9, so you've got the flat beam sabers, and you only get one of these leads. Would have been nice if they gave you two, but I suppose you could always just cut it in half if you wanted, for the anchor shots to send the tow truck off to work, I suppose. So you may not actually have to paint this stuff up in white, as they are going to provide the all-important, the skull mark for the V-fin is actually going to be done in a white seal, so it sort of seems strange again that they went with the silver there. However, you're going to have these two parts, which we've already seen in the transformation, just to sort of make the shoulders look better. You've got the regular eyes down there, a camera lens. Looks like this is going to go on the side of the skull down there on the chest. And how do they do the green eye? You'll notice that there was no green plastic, but they are just going to be giving you a seal. It's the kind of the thing that you know that the advanced grade would also appreciate for those kids that are too lazy to actually go out and get the high grade or just learn how to paint. For the manual, again, love that cover art there. The green with the yellow eye is looking fantastic. That's something I should note, is that the Vicidians seem to have those yellow eyes, which they've done a good job of reflecting in both the Jack Edge and the Dark Hound in AG. There you can see the Father of the Year, Captain Ash himself, Asemu. The Dark Hound, just enough similarities to the normal and yet setting it apart in that black color scheme. A fantastic way to break it up from the other 9 lead variations that they've got here. When you open it up, this is going to be a 5-page manual because of the transformation. You can see some cool looking poses there as he's actually got the anchor shots in hand shooting them out. The beam sabers are going to look good. There's the son that he didn't bother with, Kyo. You can see that the binders are going to look good up there, and Grandpa was left behind to take care of them. And over here you've got some other shots that we've already seen around there. Kyo's Age-3 before they got dumped for the Age-FX. And down there, some of the other bonuses that are already appreciated from the previous versions of the Age-2. You've got the hand parts that you can store down there in the base itself. Again, you can use this in Strider form, and all you have to do is flip it around. That wire is actually looking really good, and hopefully it's not going to provide any actual weight issues, since it seems to be pretty light anyway. And we've got the Dodds Lancer, which is a great take on the old X2 weapons down there. The anchor shots, and there's his gang there, the Shaldal Rogue, and you've got the Jack Edge. This has been created in plastic model form. This hasn't, but I suppose if you wanted to take the color guides for either the Dark Hound or the Jack Edge, you could create your own. Inside, you can see the plates A, C, D, H, and the little ones there, and you can see that there's very few X's here, so obviously this was well designed in conjunction with the normal, which is to be expected, but it's still great to see that there's not a lot of wasted plastic there. You build up the chest, the head, which is going to be a very exciting part to put together, and once you've got the upper body, the legs, and the waist, then you can put together the unique looking weapons there, and everything like that. Before, we've got 2 color splash pages in the back, thanks to the 5 pages there, showing you how to put the beam sabers in hand, attach the action base, flipping it forward or back, and if you want to do the transformation, you're going to pop that head down, detach the waist section, and you're still going to have that little toy gimmick there kind of thing to take the Dodds Lancer and put that in. I've got to remember to flip those things up there when I actually transform this guy. And whether you want to keep the legs on their original hips or use this custom part, either way you can do it, and you've still got the bonus that you can attach that onto the action base 2-ish kind of thing that you've got down there. So tons of things that were good about the Age-2 normal look like they're continuing on with this guy. So it was a lot of fun to unbox this kit and compare it to the normal, and you can see that there's going to be just enough similarities to keep it cool and enough differences still to set it apart. The main thing being that pirate motif and the black colors, which to go along with the 2 shades of gray, just seem to be fantastic. Something I'm not too crazy about though is just this silver part here and the fact that they do give you white, and if you read the manual for the painting guide, they're telling you to paint up the skulls in white anyway, so you'd think that if they're putting 4 colors on the A-plate there, then instead of doing black and black for 2 of the 4, that they could have added a little bit of white, but nonetheless it remains to be seen, and remember that you can always paint those up yourselves if you want to put in the effort. So anyway, everybody, stick around and you can see how this guy stacks up when he's all put together in the parts, and thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Tell me, Luffy, how is it that you got a master grade before I did?